Morning, Trainiacs. We have got just a little Monday morning recovery swim and then a short little run later today. Recover from the weekend. Things are ramping up. Things are really ramping up. So I've started writing a little booklet about building the foundations of swimming. Before you start really focusing on swim workouts, what skills do you need to build to really just get swimming and develop comfort in the water? And one of the things that I started writing about this morning is pull buoys. And shortly behind incorrect use of fins, incorrect use of pull buoys would be the number one swim tool error the triathletes are doing. So after this swim and when we get back to the pain cave, we will talk about should you use this pull buoy, should you use another pull buoy, how to use pull buoys most effectively. Well, it was 2,500 meters in 52 minutes. Little floaty pants, pull buoy kind of recovery swim. Dig it. You all should go follow me on Instagram. I'm making a point of putting, I think, we're gonna try. No, it just doesn't work out that way. Not all, but the vast majority of my workouts with all the details on Instagram. Seems to be a popular thing. Who knew? All right, let's dive into the wonderful world of pull buoys. It is something. So, Trainiacs, let's talk about pull buoy selection before we get into actually using a pull buoy. Now, this is the pull buoy that I use. This is the Trainee buoy from Trainee Jones, elite swimmer herself that designed this. And why I use this is a couple of reasons. Number one, it's plastic. So these things don't actually turn moldy like the foam pull buoys do. He doesn't care to smell it. But more importantly, what works really well with this is that there's a period of the year kind of right before race season that what we start doing with these on Tower 26 and on teamtrainiac.com is there are a few workouts where you can unscrew these caps and fill it up with water. So instead of these providing a little bit of lift from being in between your legs, it provides a little bit of drag. And what this does is it forces you to increase your stroke turnover, and more than anything, really forces you to focus on engaging the core, like back here, to lift those legs up close to the surface of the water to get that nice streamlined position. Does every age group triathlete out there need an Trainee buoy? Not really. Does every athlete on teamtrainiac.com need an Trainee buoy? Not really. It's only a solid handful of workouts every single year that we do with these. I just like it for those reasons that if I'm going to spend $20 for a pull buoy, might as well spend $32 and get this additional benefit. But not necessary for everyone. Okay, let's talk about how to use a pull buoy because it's kind of one of my pet peeves. So one of the biggest things that we need to develop as age group swimmers that we don't get to develop because most of us didn't swim as kids is we need to develop the ability to swim in a straight line at the surface of the water. I call this floating like a log. We need to float in one unit from our head to our toe and have that connection from our shoulders all the way to our toes so that we don't sink in the water and we don't snake side to side. So here's the issue with using just a pull buoy and not pairing it with anything else. When you end up putting a point of buoyancy there, Essentially, what we're doing is we're folding our body in half. We can basically chop our body in two, and because that pull buoy is going to act as our buoyancy, our upper body can wiggle any which way, and our lower body can wiggle any which way. And often what happens is when you look at it from behind, instead of having this straight line here, people end up having a body line that goes that way and then that way. And the pull buoy almost encourages it. So even though it feels like it's actually helping us because it's giving us some buoyancy and bringing us up close to the surface of the water, it's basically just a crutch that is actually making your body position worse. Now what we do on Team Trainee is, we put in that pull buoy, but then we also put in an ankle strap to tie up our legs, and that's why you see me putting on this thing, wrapping that around, making it nice and tight. And then we put in a snorkel. And what you see here is from head, through the butt, through the heels, is basically one straight line. And what's going to happen is your head is going to be taken out of the equation with the snorkel so that you don't have to lift your head to breathe. So it's going to eliminate one break from the hips going one way. And then because your ankles are wrapped up, it's going to basically amplify any sort of wiggling back and forth, and it's going to be a cue for you to then activate your stabilizer muscles in this region and stop that. And it's going to develop that body awareness that elite swimmers develop as kids. But for us age groupers, it's so hard to do if we don't have a cue to do it, like with the snorkel, band, and pull. So on teamtrainiac.com, how many pull sets will we do with just a pull buoy? 0. Literally 0. There is not a single instance that I recommend where you use just a pull buoy because it actually makes your body wigglier while making it feel easier, so it encourages bad form. So what we do is this pull buoy is pretty much always paired with an ankle strap, so it encourages that nice long log-like swimming that just cuts through the surface of the water, and typically also paired with a snorkel. And unless you're doing that, frankly, I would venture a guess to say that you're probably doing your swim detriment. You're doing it actual harm. And you might be saying, well, Taren, there's only so many things that I can buy. Well, how many hundreds, if not thousands of dollars do you spend on a bike? This costs you $32. You can probably get a cheap one. You can probably even get one in the Lost and Found for free. This costs about $12. It doesn't even have to be this, but it can be as simple as an old flat bike tube, $0. Snorkel, about $22. So for as little as $22, you can make any sort of time that you spend swimming with a pull buoy way more effective as opposed to actually potentially doing yourself harm. So there you go, Trainiacs. As I said, I'm working on a booklet about building the foundations of swimming, and there's a lot of this that I talk about because there are a lot of pool toys that are recommended to people that somebody says, oh, hey, my friend really likes such and such paddle. Well, why does your friend like such and such paddle? And is that paddle actually beneficial to you? A lot of people don't know the answers to that. So stay tuned for that booklet. I don't know when it'll be out, but if you want to go and check out these workouts, go check out the workouts at teamtrainiac.com, where we have all of these guidelines prompted for how to use what, when, and what types, and you can actually get discounts on all of this stuff through our swim gear partner. So that is all, and let's say later, Trainiacs. Since when are you the lazy one around here?